Hey guys, what's going on? This is Freddy and this is Richard, and together we're Roof Capital Inc. Today we're going to introduce you our new video series, Meet the Red, which is called Meeting the Real Estate Developer. Today we're meeting up with Jason Lam, is the VP of Sales for CentreCourt, and Richard is going to tell you more about CentreCourt.
Guys, CentreCourt is one of the most prominent builders in the GTA. They brought to market over 20 towers, over 12,000 units, worth of over 3.1 billion. Hey, it doesn't get better than that. So today we're here to interview the VP of Sales, give you a close-up so you can hear from the source itself, which we think is very important for investors. We can say it as professionals, but it's another level when you hear it from the builder, and that is what we're giving to you guys. So, Fred, do you have anything to say before?
Yeah, and one thing that we're also going to be bringing to the market is one of the best located condo, which is called Prime Condo. Yeah. It's literally situated in the mid of financial district, and also two subways are just close to it.
Close to where
there's nothing as good as Prime Condo. So we're going to hear more from Jason Lam. Let's go. Okay. All right, sir. It's great to meet you, Jason Lam. For our viewers out there, this is the VP of Sales, the number one guy you want to talk to when you're thinking about CentreCourt. Guys, we're right here. We want to learn more about CentreCourt, and we're also going to be introducing to you guys one of the most suitable projects in town, the best project in town, right? So, but first we want to know about CentreCourt. We want to understand what CentreCourt is and what's their value. What is driving CentreCourt? So no one else can answer this question than Jason himself. So Jason, can you tell us what is the core values? What's the drive for CentreCourt?
Well, look, it's a great question. And before I get started, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I want to share the message. I think whenever you're looking at pre-construction, whenever you're looking at buying a home, the developer should come first. I know location is always such a massive driver, but in pre-construction in particular, the developer brand, what they stand for, what they are able to accomplish and execute is at the forefront, because you are investing in that brand. You're investing your hard-earned money in this brand to execute and to complete a beautiful finished product. So CentreCourt, we've been in business for about 11 years now. This is our 19th project in 11 years. Wow. So, relatively speaking, most developers have 3, 4, 5, 6 projects in that time frame. So for us, it's the ability to execute, to scale from top down. And what allows us to do that is being vertically integrated, meaning that all the components, all the facets of building a condominium building are in-house. Acquisitions, sales and marketing, development, customer care, but most notably construction. And when you have all of those parts sitting in one room, collaborating, sharing, being efficient with decisions, having calculated strategic conversations about the best outcomes, that is how you could move as fast as we can. And so our track record speaks for itself. We're one of the few developers that build on time, right? We've got 0 days of interim occupancy. We go straight to final closing. We've got 0 canceled projects. And the best part is throughout our entire catalog, they're AAA projects, and the principles from a locational standpoint is public transportation, employment, infrastructure, institutions. These 4 pillars give you the ability as an investor, a purchaser of a condominium project, the ability to rent to the largest demographic. And when you have that power as a landlord, you are now choosing. You're not looking for renters. Renters are coming to you. And Prime is no different than all of our past projects because of the locational strength and what surrounds it. So, in long story short, CentreCourt is a proven active developer that is committed to, best outcomes constantly, and we're just getting started in our story.
Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. So, Jason, TC5, the Forest Hill, 199 Charge,
55 Mercer, 8 Wellesley, Prime.
It was sold in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Record time.
I know there's a secret to that, right? So, do you want to tell us? I saw the phrase on social media, the money.
Follow the smart money.
Follow the smart money.
Follow the smart money. But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, these catchphrases are awesome, right? The year of the condo, but you got to bank that up.
Yeah.
Right. I've used data and analysis to back up the year of the condo, and I think you're seeing it firsthand in resale as well as pre-con. But if you're going to lead me down a path of follow the smart money, look, Yonge Street is the center of Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? It's driven by retail, convenience, and public transportation. And that breeds infrastructure, institutions, growth, business, opportunity.
Yeah.
So when you look at, following the smart money to the East Core, let's look at the West Core to understand.
Okay.
You guys are pros in pre-construction. You go to Bay Street. When was the last launch on Bay Street?
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me.
Yeah. Sure.
What was the last launch on University? United?
Yeah.
Before that, 488 University.
Very true.
Those were years apart, like 1,000 units per time. If you launched a project on Bay and University, you're in for $2,000 a foot at looking at where the market's at today,
Easy.
right?
For sure.
So now let's go equally the same distance east of Yonge Street. You've got Church, Jarvis, Sherbourne, Parliament. You've got Regent Park. And the value is, there's so much value there. It's not the same price, but it's the same distance.
Yeah.
And if you look at where can Toronto grow, you've got no choice. If you want to be south of Bloor, off of Yonge, you're going to be Church, Jarvis, Sherbourne. You have nowhere else to go. So what are developers doing? They're going to the East Core. Every big developer has developed, is developing, or will be developing on Church, Jarvis, Sherbourne, Parliament, if you want to play in that neighborhood. And what's happening with the financial district? It's moving eastward because there's nowhere else to go, right? And it's coming closer to prime. So when we talk about following the smart money, it's, that's where developers are going. That's where the opportunities are, but that's where the value is if you're in the downtown core relative to equal distance to Yonge, west of Yonge. So that's where I think there's a ton of value. I think there's a number of projects that are currently in development, currently in construction, that will, with each passing day, change the East Core, right? We're not trailblazers. This is our fifth building in the East Core, so we know it better than anyone else. But we're not trailblazers because there's been a number of projects, including our own, that are changing the fabric of this revitalization project of East. And when this is done, you're going to capitalize on the density, which breeds, demand, businesses. Ryerson's going to contribute to the change. So just like Regent Park, just like Liberty Village, just like the VMC, it's going to go from nothing to something overnight. And you can either be the person that's going to watch it go by and say, I can't believe, like 5 years are going to drive by and say, what happened? Or you can be the person that says, I understand, I see the vision, I can take advantage of that. I want to be a part of that because it is logical. There's nowhere else to go. Prices are going up, right? So that's following the smart money. That's being thoughtful and having a vision of what downtown Toronto East means.
Interesting. I think when we want to catch the next phrase, we'll have to come to you. But Jason, let's talk about the market right now.
Yes.
Right. So last year was a year whereby we don't know what was going on, especially in the condo market, right? And incredible to say that you guys, CentreCourt launched 3 projects. One was prior to the pandemic, one was during the pandemic, and the last one was still in the pandemic. Oh no, the last one was in January this year.
Yes. Yeah. So go ahead.
Sorry. So my question is, what was the driving force still?
Yes.
How did you overcome what was going, because you sold at record time, right?
Yeah.
So how were you able, as a developer, be able to, overcome the market or overcome the economy?
Well, the one thing I'll say is people's commitment and confidence in real estate as a hard asset will never waver, no matter what happens. You'll always have people that want to park their capital into a necessity like homes.
True. Yeah.
Like number one, full stop. Number two is GTA has this obsession to own real estate and build wealth through that. So that's not going to stop. And so that was the fundamental thesis of saying, look, we can launch because we're not afraid. Right, yeah. Great locations are great locations. True. People were at home making money, not spending money. Yeah. And I think that really, what that means is they're now thinking about the future. True. They're trying to build generational wealth. They're seeing inflation take place in the market, just from a stalk of celery to the cost of a home. right? Cash is getting awfully soft. So I think they're looking at real estate. We saw the price swings. Low rise was on fire.
Oh yeah.
Dude, 2020 was nothing short of spectacular. Prices, we were transacting at higher prices on average. We were trading more on average in terms of volume sold. The data was there. Yeah. There's no surprises in the activity and the behavior. We wanted to buy, we wanted to sell, and we wanted to upgrade. And that's exactly what the GTA did. Coming into 2021, we're pivoting into pre-construction, a bunch of pent-up demand for people that maybe are priced out of the market. People that are looking at the market as, you know what, 3-4 years from now, I want to own something. I want to put down 20% in installments, right? I might not be ready to close today, but I can close then. And that's where pre-construction is starting to light the market on fire right now.
Okay, yeah, thanks for diving into that. So that brings me to the next question. For the past few years, I think from even last year, there's been a lot of projects in the 905.
Yes.
Right? And you can hardly count how many projects in the core downtown.
This is a good point. This is a big point.
Then again, another thing you want to look at is based on what the Forbes released in October 2020, Canada is ranked #1 of country people want to migrate to.
Yes.
So what that means is a lot of people are going to come into the country to back it up with the 1.2 million people that will be coming to Canada in the next years.
Yes.
So now that is surge for demand.
Yes.
Right? So I want to ask about the magic to be able to, bring this project to the market with so much affordability that makes it investors friendly.
Yeah.
Because, hey, in Canada, we all know Toronto is Toronto.
Yes.
No matter what happens, the #1 location in the whole of the country.
I agree.
Now you have affordability in the same location. So it seems like a magic.
Yes.
And I can tell myself as an investor, how did this happen? But I know you're going to tell us better.
Well, look, I think it's a function of building the right product.
Yeah.
When this is your 5th building, you understand what the buyers are buying, what's renting well, what type of amenities are actually used and not used, and what is of higher value.
True.
So for us, it's maximizing the floor plans to make sure that they're as efficient as bigger plans, but reducing the little nuances in floor plans that waste space, create greater costs in terms of maintenance fees, and greater price points because of the size. So for us, we gave you exactly what you were looking for in terms of unit type, but we maximized and engineered the floor plans. So that's what's giving you the most attractive price point is our floor plans and our ability to really turn them into ultra efficient just machines, because I think it's the best set of floor plans. And I know every builder says the same thing, but you haven't seen a key plate till you see ours. And we're building the right product for the right environment, for investors, for end users that are priced out of the market. And that's the key. That's the magic for us.
Okay, great.
Interesting. So Lam, let's talk about prime condo, right?
Yes.
First, we'd like to know what is the inspiration behind the design of the condo, of the structure. We also want to know, so a lot of investors are also inclined to know how functional are the floor plans, which you said already.
Right.
But can you walk us through on the type of amenities they'll be getting?
For sure.
And what are the major things that we should watch out for in the prime condo?
Okay, so let's talk about location, and then remind me, and we'll work backwards. The fundamental piece that we talked about earlier at the top of this was builder brand. You have to trust your partner, right? And no one's really set a table higher than us, and there's very few developers that are capable of doing what we can do. The second is location. What makes Prime stand out from the rest of the market, you talked about 905. There's a number of 905 fringe 416 projects. They're really a dime a dozen right now. And it's master plan community here, master plan community there. And of course, you've got no other choice. You've got a ton of land. It's almost unlimited out there. When you're coming back downtown core, the land is finite. This project took many years to bring online. That speaks to the volume of resources, time to bring a site like this to the market. So the one thing that Prime has that no other project has in downtown Toronto or in the 416 or in the 905 is we've got an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Okay? We have the insurance policy that no site has, and that's from the day you buy Prime, from the day that you close your condominium, you have from across the street access to 45,000 students.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Okay? And that is a beautiful thing because it's constantly regenerating, it's constantly growing, and there's no beds on campus, and they depend on the private sector, your investors, to house them. Then you've got the international students that are not from here.
Yeah.
They pay tuition, a premium. They pay rent, usually a premium. Their parents are not here. So they want these kids to be as close to campus as possible, right? And it's regenerating. That's your insurance policy.
Yeah.
Find me 905 condos that have that type of insurance policy across the street.
Exactly.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's number one. So if you're an investor, you want that assurance.
Yeah.
And we're here to give you that assurance. So insurance policy is vital. Now let's talk about our access to Yonge Street. Within a 10-minute walk, 12 minutes if you're slow and you like to chill, you're a 12-minute walk, 10-minute walk to Yonge Street, which is the major artery of the city. It is the definition of Toronto, right? Public transportation, culture, retail, convenience, lifestyle. That's where it all starts. But you don't just have access to Yonge Street within 10 minutes. You got access to 2 subway stops, which is Dundas at Yonge and Dundas and College at Yonge and College. But the beauty about downtown is that you don't need the subway.
Yeah.
There are projects out there that need the subway. The subway is the only thing they've got. This is so much more complex. The opportunity is so much greater at Prime than any other site. So now we are walkable, right? We're walkable to the financial district, which is coming closer to us. Day by day, it's coming closer to Prime. You got access to the University Health Network. You got access to the Tech Hub, which is keeping us all alive during the global pandemic. You've got the entertainment district. So, the faculty from Ryerson. So now you're able to cast this massive net of young professionals, old professionals, students, medical and related science people in that profession. And now you, again, like I said earlier, is you can choose your tenant. You're no longer just relegated to one particular industry or one group of people. You've got a massive list of who's who, mostly young, dynamic individuals that want accessibility, location, convenience. So when you talk about the amenities, that's the second layer is, no one really appreciates amenities until it's done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you do a showing, the lobby is paramount. When you do a showing and you show someone the gym and it's 600 square feet, it's embarrassing, right? Like they're like, this isn't even a gym. They don't even have dumbbells, So when you're looking at a building like we're gonna build, understanding the market like we do because of our track record at 401 Church, grid condos, core condos, we understand the pockets. So we've got a 6,500 square foot gym.
Wow.
That's 6 times more than what I live in. Okay. It's massive. It's bigger than, it's 2.5 times the average size of a house. You live in 2,500 square foot home.
Yeah.
This is way bigger.
Yeah.
It's massive. It's more than double. So look, when you do a showing and you show our lobby and you show that gym, that's the difference. Those are the little things that make you stand out above ahead of the competition. You got a shared co-working space that creates this dynamic environment where, again, your condominium unit is not your limitation. Your condominium unit is additive to the common elements. And there you can collaborate. There you're, again, working from home, the shared co-working space makes a lot of sense. And so those are the things that mean something to renters. And those are the things that keep renters, happy, paying premium rents in our buildings. So, again, I'm sort of, I'm at the end of my answer, but if you had another question lined up there that I may have missed, please feel free to ask.
I think it was more on the inspiration regarding
of the building.
design.
Look, if you look at 411 Church, if you look at Grid, these are buildings that stand out. They're very unique in nature. If you're driving on the Gardner or DVP, you can see Grid from a very far away with the zigzag, and 411 has the honeycomb. This building with the black metal panel facade with the gold trim, that's unique. That's special. That is a premium product. We want that to set the tone for the East Core. Because the East Core is changing, and we want to bring a building when it's changed that belongs in the East Core, right? So the inspiration here is collaboration with IBI Group, but it's to ensure and build something that stands out. It's not just a regular glass building that people can appreciate from afar. And I think it's going to stand out in our skyline. It's going to be one of those buildings that is identifiable, and those are important when it comes to our purchasers and their tenants.
Okay, great. So I can imagine. We are professionals in the game, but also an investor.
Yes.
And every investor dream is wherever you want to put your money, you want to make sure the location is right.
Right.
Hey, Prime has it.
Got it.
Architectural design, top notch.
Yes.
Right? one of the best builder in the game, if not the best, right?
Yes.
Then I can imagine, how have you been able to achieve this unobstructed view? It's just like icing on the cake.
It's,
Right?
look, and I'll be the first to tell you this. Views aren't forever.
Yeah.
When you play and party in the downtown core of any metropolitan,
Yeah.
You're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And the change is a positive change. Density is a positive step. And so, yes, we have killer views. And we're going to have killer views for a long time, in a lot of cases, probably forever. And so it's just location, right?
Yeah.
I think we're one of the first guys that are on this block that see the vision.
Yeah.
Again, with Grid from many years ago, we saw a long time ago. And again, you're starting to see the developers come and play. So the views are always a great bonus, but it's all about location, it's all about builder brand, and it's all about the opportunity that's presented, because the next site after this is going to be more expensive, and the next site after that is going to be more expensive. And that's just how the game has worked. And when you compare the 905 market that's grown exponentially over the last 12 months, there's a lot of value when you're comparing 905 to downtown Florence.
Sure.
It's not even a conversation for me. And there's nothing wrong with 905. I think it's great to see the marketplace diversify and grow as one major heartbeat. But when there's value at play here, when there's the opportunity to buy at prime because of the price points, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, yes.
All right. So my question would be for investors that are still sitting on the sideline,
Yes.
because truth be said, a lot of investors have been able to save more because nobody's traveling now.
Yes, no one's
Right?
spending, no one's
Everybody's
buying
walking
bottles,
from-
no one's buying rounds, no one's doing the crazy stuff.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of people still sitting on the sideline because of because of the press,
Yes.
right? The press is saying, "Oh, the condo market is winding down."
Not anymore.
Not anymore, though. But
Yeah.
throughout last year, right?
Oh, for sure.
So for some people, they are still with that knowledge of the last year.
Right.
They're not already in tune with what is going on right
Yeah.
now. So what will you tell to those guys about what is going to drive the condo market in general?
Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to call these guys to learn more. And it's all about education. And the data is in front of you. When you look at the condo market as a whole, we talked about it before we started this. It's the most affordable asset.
Yeah.
It'll always be. And the largest demographic will always cater and be attracted to the most affordable asset. Now, the beauty is that most of these affordable units are in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Right? So, right now, would you say the market's on fire?
Yeah.
It is, because you're seeing it in transaction numbers and an average price point. We're doing this without immigration. We're doing this without tourism. We're doing this without a lot of key, international business.
Yeah.
Wait until that starts.
Oh, yeah.
And you will be shocked at the amount of demand, how fast we will rebound. We already have. How fast we'll move up the market. So if you're on the sidelines waiting, well, look, every time the market went down in the stock market, it created opportunity, right? And I think the bottom of the market has already passed. It was in December. So if you're on the sidelines, what are you doing? You're looking at inflation kicking in. Your dollar is now worth 80 cents, and it'll be worth 75 cents. It'll be worth 70 cents. And if you don't know anything about the stock market like myself, then what do you do with this money? A hard asset that people have to live in is the best way to go. You live in something today. Build that wealth. Build generational wealth by having a great foundation. Leverage. The beauty about leverage is literally, it's a monopoly game, right? And there's no other world. When you're buying stocks, you can't put down 20% of a stock.
Sure.
Right? You're not going to get 100% of the appreciation.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The thing is that in real estate, people are so preoccupied about it being a commodity. Real estate is a long-term play. And if you play it right, you will change your future tenfold by having that asset, renting it out, building that equity, refinancing that asset, branching off, and building your portfolio one step at a time. But it's all based on your budget, right? Is go backward and say, what can I afford? And work within the confines of that. Then find the best builders, then find the best locations, right? And then work your way up. It's not meant to be a race. It's not meant to be sprinting, because it doesn't work like that. And if it did, then we'd have a big problem. But it's starting small, thinking big, acting now. Those are the steps to build generational true wealth. and it's doing it at your pace. And I think it's having insight and education. The market reports monthly give you that, give you where the status of the market is at any given time, and it's public information. So the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. And pre-construction is an avenue you can take that doesn't require a mortgage in 90 to 120 days. It doesn't require you to have multiple offers, blind bidding wars. And the beauty is that it's multiple years away. So you're paying in these little installments and deposits. That's digestible. You can do that with your partner. You can do that with your family. You can do that with your network of friends. You can do that alone. But you have to start now, because there's no world where Toronto is going to go backwards. As we continue to grow.
Oh, amazing, right. Amazing. Hey, Jason, you've answered everything. I can imagine if an investor is watching now, I can bet they have no more questions. Trust me. Yeah, they have no more questions. You've talked about the location. You've talked about the builder. They're the best in the game. We've talked about the insurance policy.
Yes,
right.
That
value
is
for money, exchange value, right?
That's it.
We've talked about the readiness of the market, because if 1.2 million people come into Canada in the next 3 years, and Prime set to be completed in 4 or 5 years, that's a ready market.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a huge market. I mean, there's a market today. And so you're right. I'm glad that I can share what I can and what we can talk about. I enjoy collaborating and sharing ideas and talking about where the market's at. But it's you guys that create our success. We work hand in hand. And I think the more people realize that and understand that and appreciate the work that you put into this, the more successful we'll all be. So we're excited about Prime. We're excited about 2021. We're awfully excited about post-pandemic, but also scared because the market is gonna just flat out skyrocket. And again, when the media tells you it's time to buy, you're probably 3 to 6 months behind.
True.
Very true.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jason. Want to thank you too. It's one thing to have interest to invest. It's another thing to have a good builder that has the best products in town.
That's right.
To invest in. So thank you so much.
One thing that we're not going to take away is there's no cancellation with CentreCourt.
0 days of interim occupancy, 0 cancellations. Look, we're very serious about this. Our craft, our obsession separates us. Our commitment, it's sick, really, but we love it, and we're gonna only get better. And I think our buyers are gonna be really happy with the product that we're building at Gerard, at Dundas and Jarvis.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. You read it from the main man, and
he doesn't get better than that.
He doesn't get better than that. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bye.